Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Violet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. My guest today is Jessica Stokes. She is my partner and facilitator in our women's retreats that we do. We facilitated a retreat last year and we're facilitating. Wow, I can't even talk today. We're facilitating 2 retreats. Our first retreat is already sold out. So we wanted to come on and really talk to everyone about our women's retreat in September, later in September, and it's all around finding balance within the divine feminine. So welcome, Jessica.
Hi, it's great to be here, and I'm excited to talk about our retreat.
Yeah, I love that. And this was all last minute. So if we seem a little scattered everywhere, we are a little scattered everywhere, but we tend to be able to pull this off.
And we like to talk, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, we will be able to fill the space. So I wanted to share with our listeners, because I'm not sure everybody realizes that I've been facilitating women's retreats probably 4 or 5 years now or longer. And Jessica joined me last year as a co-facilitator, and we had such an amazing time that we decided that we wanted to continue co-facilitating these retreats. So Jessica, share with the audience kind of your experience facilitating retreats and why you're really drawn to do this. Because I know mine's not the only one you co-facilitate.
That's true. So I have a team that I support and work with that's out of the Chicago area, and we also do different retreats. So they have an umbrella retreats, and they really have some different specific types of retreats, and I've been supporting and helping them for several years. They initially, our retreats, a shout out to Tammy Palmer and Kim Kleeman from my group from there. We initially started out as writing retreats, and then it morphed into women's retreats and specifically supporting women's. They've done some business retreats. We do one up in Glenwood Springs every other year. We're doing one in an intentional community on the prairie next month. And, the magic, and I think the magic between us, Violet, is that part of the experience of retreat is what happens in the energy that's created with the facilitators, and the collaboration and the partnership that builds then is. Did we lose each other?
You froze up for a minute, so I'll have to go back and look. Like right at the end, it kind of froze a little bit.
All right, let me go back to what I was saying, which was that the magic of retreats is so much about what happens with the collaboration of the facilitators. So the magic that you and I create on our retreat last year, that I'm certain will be created on our retreats this year, is this magical support and connection and energy that's created that really is the spirit of what happens on retreats that then is shared with our attendees.
I love that. Over the years, one of the things I've noticed is people choose retreats based on maybe location, where the retreat's going to be had, where they're going. Sometimes it's just based on the time of year. Is it a weekend retreat? Is it a long week retreat? I think some people choose retreats based on the facilitators and wanting to go and hang out with those individuals for days or weeks. I think sometimes it is the theme of the retreat and whether that really draws them in. Something unique about my retreats, and when I think about retreats, is I love for it to be an opportunity for people to really unplug not be connected to the chaos and the to-do list and hey, I have to get this done, but to really unplug and be able to really connect with themselves over days that you're at the retreat. But some of the other things that I love to do that I think people know me for now is I always create a journal book for our retreat that has all the education and reflection and journaling and coloring and doodling and all that stuff that people like to do when they unplug and really release and be able to kind of sit with themselves for a little bit. And I think one of the other things people love about my retreats is our gift bags typically are packed full with amazing things, as well as we always have things that we make or that we receive in the retreat that we get to take home, because I love having something that we put our hands in and work on. And Jess and I are both crafty and we're both very creative in how we look at things and being able to bounce off of each other, which I think makes our retreats really cool in what we offer.
I totally agree, Violet. And I think I'm going to go back and when you're talking about the books you create, it's such an awesome combination of both of education and also play and an opportunity. Like sometimes we might think that we like to color, but or we like stickers, but if you have a bunch of stickers and coloring things right in front of you and have the tools to do it, it just gives you permission to really, your brain gets to work in different ways. And so you're not looking at your phone, you're not scrolling through anything or texting people or whatnot. You're really having an opportunity to release and relax. And those gift bags, all like whoever wants to come, like we have the bomb gift bags. They're the best gift bags you'll ever get at a retreat. I'm excited about the gift bags. Most retreat leaders should be excited about their gift bags, but I'm excited.
It's funny. It's one of the things that I feel like it's important is you're working on a theme or a focus for the weekend or the week, and you're really in it. I want you to take some things home so that that experience continues long after you get home. And so having really cool gift bags are important. Like at every retreat, I'm really big on giving people a book. I'm a book person. I love books. I have hundreds of books. I really like books. And our retreat in September, which is that balance of the divine feminine, everybody's going to get the Way of the Rose to take home. And this book's all about the significance of roses and rosaries and where it all started and how it has such a historical beginning way back before the church, way back before Catholics, way back from the beginning of time, and the power of the rose and how we can step into the rose. So, one of the gifts in the bag, and I've already got all of them, is the Way of the Rose books that everybody will get to take home. And this is a book that I love. It's also a book Jess loves.
It's a fantastic book. For me, that book really helped me frame and understand women's relationships and women's ways of being able to be almost a little subversive in the church because they would utilize rosaries, and it was a secret way for them to commune and connect with their vision and their version of God, not the kind of indoctrined stuff that was being taught in the church for so many centuries. And so it really helped me reframe kind of my relationship with that. It was a great reframing for me. I also love and think it's really interesting that rosaries are also so similar to other mala beads and different kinds and different prayer beads and different ways in which we find tools in many different ways and traditions to utilize ways to connect with the holy or godliness or whatnot. So it's a great book. Love it.
I love it. And everybody gets to take one home. One of the other things, my divine team has really been pushing me to do this retreat. And it's interesting because I don't think people really understand what the retreat's about. So I want to share a little bit about why this is so important and why it's so important at this time in our time frame out there in the universe. We're coming out of the Pisces age, and we've been coming out of the Pisces age, which was very masculine. And what happened during that part of our experience is most women wanted to be created equal against men in the workforce. So they really stepped into that masculine energy and really dropped and left behind that divine feminine energy, which is just as powerful as the masculine. And I think women, personally, and myself included, I did for a long time. When I was an executive in the corporate world, I would not allow myself to really lean into the divine feminine because I saw it as a weakness and not a strength. And when we think about Mary Magdalene and we really step in to that sacred energy that she held when she lived, but also holds today, she represents the divine feminine, and she comes through very powerfully and very strong in lots of things. And this retreat is for women to really understand, what is masculine energy? What is feminine energy? Where am I off balance? And how do I connect back into that energy that I was given at birth to really step into my divine power and create that balance within us? And most women have forgotten what it's like to be balanced within. They are so on one side of the spectrum. And so I'm excited to have this, and I'd love to see lots of people get this experience because I think it's going to be amazing and over the top, especially for those women that have been working in corporate America that have really felt like that they weren't able to compete or be seen or be heard or really stand in their own power. So I'm excited to be able to offer this retreat.
Yeah, I think some other things come to mind too, is just as we, and I agree, like after being in running businesses and being a much more masculine world, if you will, stepping into my own way of navigating my businesses that are still successful, but are not driven by some things that I saw were driven when I was in more of a corporate perspective or corporate positions. I think that's super powerful. And I think we're seeing in a greater space right now some major shifts and this sense and this place in which women are really feeling that need to find their voice, find their own, find their power, and to find that power. It doesn't look like masculine power. It's important for us to know that we are balanced. We have masculine and feminine energies inside us, but to lean into that feminine, the softness of femininity, and understand and not hate the parts of ourselves that are strong and masculine. And in that is strength of togetherness, and that in itself is powerful.
Well,
So
and
I'm super excited too.
As we look at the world today, if you look outside in the world, that's really where this chaos is being created, is because the world wants to keep what they've always known as structure and how we move forward, and it doesn't work anymore. There has to be this balance. And so the chaos that's happening out there really represents our chaos within us, that we are not creating that balance of being, we're not seeing compassion, we're not seeing nurturing energy, we're not seeing that loving support, we're not seeing those creative life force energies really creating balance out there. Everything seems very off balance. So this is the perfect year to really come and create a container, a sacred container where you can step into that sacred balance within yourself. And we have so many fun things planned as well.
Yeah, so the also where we're going to be is just amazing. So our retreat in September is up in Woodland Park area, and it's a gorgeous space. It's a camp-like setting, but we have gorgeous. Everyone will have an individual room and their own space. There's a labyrinth. There's wonderful places to walk, and it's right in such a beautiful time that we may get to see some really beautiful aspen and all kinds of really connecting with Mother Nature and being in this really magical space. And the food is great. We get all of our food is cooked for us, and that's awesome. And it's a really good experience.
It really is. And what we plan to do is really talk about rose energy and why rose is so sacred, just like the way of the rose and how roses come in. Mary Magdalene, and we're going to do some really sacred ceremonies and rituals up there for people to really connect. And we'll have movement and breath and all kinds of things happening up there to allow us to really unplug, reset, recalibrate, for the rest of the year going into the winter season. So our retreat is September 25th through the 27th, which is a Friday afternoon at 3:00. And I've had people fly into Denver to do these retreats. We'll be in Woodland Park, which is 2 hours south of Denver. We will be setting up carpools if people want to ride together. We'll be going up on Friday and then coming back on Sunday. So if you're interested in coming into Denver to do this retreat, we would love to have you. You could even fly into Colorado Springs. It would be closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was going to say, fun fact, Colorado Springs has a really nice little regional airport that's really easy to fly into.
Yeah, and that's really closer to Woodland Park than Denver. So we would love for you to come and join us on this retreat. And looky here, guys, I had to pull some stuff out. These are what our gift bags look like. And look how big they are. And we filled them up to the rim with stuff. And so we have beautiful, and I've already picked up mugs, so everybody gets a mug and a book. And we're still adding stuff to our bags on what we want to bring in. We'll also be making rose water over the weekend, and we'll be learning how to use rose water to really step into that divine. We'll probably be doing some sovereignty blends with essential oils for you to find your sovereignty. And so lots of fun things happening for our retreat. So we'd really love to have you come and join us.
Yes, indeed. And you get to hang out with me and Violet, and we're really fun. So
it's really fun.
Usually watch some movies. We have some popcorn. It's really good stuff.
We always have pajama night where we all sit around in our PJs and we snack and we have a good time and we laugh and we do so many fun things. I mean, it really is an amazing time to come and hang out. Jess gets up early in the morning. I don't typically get up that early, but we're up and about. We get 3 meals. They feed us so well. We get breakfast, we get lunch, we get dinner, and we have snacks everywhere because we always take snacks up there. And we have our own coffee pot, and we have hot tea, and we just hang out and have a really good time for about 3 days. So it's really amazing up there to come and hang out with us.
Yes, it is.
So I hope that you will join us. I'll put information in the description so that you can find out more. I hope you'll check out our retreat and what we're offering. And Jess, thank you for last minute jumping on to talk about this today.
Hey, Violet, you should also mention, or I can, that we also have an opportunity that you can, if you just love this and you fall in love with this and you're like, wait, I don't think I'm ready to quite pay for that in full. We do have payment plans, which makes it easier to budget and manage your perspective as you're looking into the next.
Yeah, we set up for a $500 deposit and then $250 some a month for 5 payments, and then you're paid in full. and you're all set up. We just ask that everything's paid in full September 1st before the retreat. That helps us pay for all the expenses and all the things to do the retreat. But yes, we do have payment plans. We do love the fact that you have your own room with 2 double beds, your own bathroom. You're not sharing with anyone. You have your own space. We also have set up that we're going to do Zoom calls a little bit before the retreat, just to let everybody know what to bring, what to expect at the retreat, what they need to think about. We also typically do Zoom calls after the retreat just to reconnect everybody back in and reconnect in with that energy, because we feel like those connections should go on and on if they're meant to, right? If we're meant to stay connected, we want to be able to do that. So we also offer all of that as well. So really an exciting time to come and join us. And also to, really lean into the Mary Magdalene energy and have an opportunity to connect with her as well all weekend long, because she'll be there with us as we are doing our retreat.
For sure.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. We hope that you'll like, comment, and follow us on your favorite channels. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. We send all of our love and light to you, and we hope to see you in September.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.